Hey, what's up? What's going on, my peeps, my peoples? So let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 10, Episode 2, Say Yes to Distress. Okay, so we start off with, everyone showing their houses. We got Cynthia. Why is Cynthia doing like a soliloquy and in the bathroom? They got her from behind. She's taking off her silk bath garments and she gets inside the tub and we're watching her wash herself. Like, come on, who wants to see that? I ain't down for that. Why you gotta do us like that? And so then we move on to Portia, her sister is moving in with her and her niece is moving in as well, and they're talking about having rules in the house. Don't open the door, don't knock on the door when the door, don't knock on the door, don't disturb anybody when the door is shut, because they could be watching Pornhub or whatever they could be doing. So basically, they're just saying we need our privacy. But, they work together. Now they're going to live together because the sister's having kind of a hard time. So she needs to move in with Portia. I don't know if moving in with Portia is a good idea because they do have some squabbles between each other, especially when they spend a long time together. And it seems like they're going to be together for a while. And living together and working together is going to be kind of distressful. And so we get on, let's talk about the intro. We have Nene Leakes and her intro to the show. She says, 10 years in the game and I am still the tastiest peach in Atlanta. Ooh, isn't that shade thrown? And then we have Portia, friends come and go, families forever. Yeah, because you can't keep a friend. You don't know what friendship is. I was like, yo. And then Candy is... don't mess with the boss, you might just get fired. Isn't that shade throwing shade to Phaedra? Like, hey, you mess with me, you spread rumors, you get fired. And we all know that Phaedra Parks has been online trying to get her peach back or trying to get her own show, trying to stay relevant basically in 2017. And then we have Cynthia. Age ain't nothing but a number, but these cheekbones are timeless. Okay, then we have Sheree. They call me the server because I always spill the tea. Oh, boy. And so then we get to, Portia's house. Her mom's there. Her aunt's there. Her mom and her aunt, they look alike. They look good or whatever. So basically, they're having a conversation. So it's, Portia's mom, it's her auntie and her sister. And they're talking about, the recent engagement that they had where, Portia met up with Candy and Nene Leakes. She said everything was cool with her and Candy. They're kind of like friends, they're on a high note basis. Basically everything is stable between them two. They hugged or whatever. So basically she's trying to say that her and Candy are cool, but see, she always misreads stuff. Is she that naive? Does she really think her and Candy are cool just because Candy mistakenly let her hug her? And so she talks about, but the biggest problem was Nene Leakes because she was coming at me and, she wanted to talk about our issues. But when I tried to ask her about what she said about me on Watch What's Happening or Watch What's Live about, frickin' frat need to be fired, she didn't want to talk about what happened 3 weeks ago. And basically she's just not feeling Nene and she wants to stay far away from her and that type of situation. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if she's going to be able to stay away from Nene Leakes. And Nene Leakes ain't gonna let it be. And so it's just like, Portia was like, she wanted me fired. She said that to the press. It's like Nene and she said Nene's kind of like starving for attention and she wants to stab me in the back and basically and be shady to me. And she's not a friend, but she can also take them words and turn it towards herself because she hasn't been a friend to Candy and she hasn't been a friend to Shamia at all. So only person she was writing with was Phaedra, and then Phaedra turned around and did her in. And, it is what it is with that situation. Sometimes you got to learn a hard lesson, but it doesn't seem like Portia is learning her lesson. Like she's not developing that, who is actually a friend and who's not actually a friend and who she has hurt. She only thinks about herself. It's like, she's kind of like brain dead or something. I don't know. There's no way she could be this delirious. So on that note, then we move on to Candy, she's working hard. She's with Todd. They're doing their thing, whatever. Then we get to, Cynthia. She's going on a blind date or whatever, but she's been on a date with this guy before. He's a young man he has his own business. He has a studio, and he meets up with Cynthia, and he put a blindfold on her basically to bring her to a photo shoot to take pictures of her. Then he brings her into his personal studio where it's all set up romantically. They have candles, flowers, the dinner, the food looked terrible, but it was a sweet gesture, and it was nice for a young man to do that. And he's very interested in Cynthia, but Cynthia had to say, oh, let's stop the brakes. She was, Cynthia liked them old. Peter was way older than Cynthia, I guess a couple of years, I don't know, but she's like, you too young for me. She said, I was told that you was 31, 32. Now, you're only 29 and you just turned 29. You only been like 29 for 5 minutes. And so she was like, let's toast to friendship and friendship only. Cynthia deaded that quickly. She's not trying to be with no young dude. But if she wanted to, I say kudos to her if she wanted to. And Cynthia also clowned her date, said he looked like Norbert from Norbert, which Eddie Murphy played in that movie. I was like, Cynthia, you wrong for that. But I think he was a handsome young man, and he was very polite, and he wanted to show you the world, girl. But Cynthia's not feeling it at all. And then, she's like, we'll just be friends, and that's it. Then we get Sheree. Sheree goes to her life coach, and basically she's talking about the abuse that she went through in her past 10 years ago with, Bob or whatever. And she's saying that, she needs help dealing with these situations. And so the life coach is like, so do your kids know about the situation? Have you explained it to your kids? She was like, no. So he gave her an assignment to work on it, practice it with friends and family or whatever, to talk to how you're going to approach your kids with the situation about the abuse. And so Sheree's like, okay, I'll do that. Sheree's basically milking this whole situation, but it's not really milking it. But if it's really serious and it's really been bothering her, she's been hiding. And when she does talk about it, she didn't know that she was that upset and that affected about the situation. So you kind of understand, like, some people live with hurt, some people live with regret and pain that they suppressed it so long, and then once it's brought up, sometimes they don't know how to deal with them emotions. But she's going overboard with this life coach. But I was happy that, Sheree wasn't going to a manager or something like that. So that was cool. And, Sheree is later on going to work it out with Candy. They're going to rehearse and practice how she's going to talk to her kids. And basically, Candy opened her house up to Sheree because Sheree's not able to do it at home because her kids are there. So I think that was cool. And it possibly can help people that been in an abusive situation, or people that been in situation that cause PTSD, that cause drama, depression, where they can, cope and talk to other people about it, but do it in a way where they can practice what they're going to say, so they can say the right thing at the right time and at the right moment. So I guess, it was really dry, but it really does. Even though it was for TV, it seems like if someone watching this show has these type of problems, they can actually use this lesson in their personal life. So I guess it's all good. It's cool, but it really wasn't that interesting. And it seems like they was doing a lot of reaching, but maybe they was reaching to help people because maybe they know a lot of women watch this show and probably suffer from some different types of challenges in their life, and they don't know how to communicate it well. So moving on from that, we get to Kenya. She meets up with Cynthia. They're walking the dogs, and basically, Kenya was like, my dogs couldn't come to the wedding. And so, Cynthia was like, I totally understand how your dogs feel, because I wasn't even invited to come to the wedding. I couldn't come to the wedding. And so Cynthia is just, Cynthia's just basically saying, hey, I wasn't there. And Kenya is just like, it's really difficult or whatever, but she's happy that she's married. She's happy that God answered her prayers. She found the love of her life. So we're just gonna rock with and believe that it's true, but there's so many different things that says it's not true. But Cynthia was just like, yo, I thought when I divorced Peter, me and Kenya was gonna be a spoon coon. We're gonna be out here chilling a single life, but she turned around and got married on me. I know what you mean. You thought you had a ride or die chick with you, because everybody else is married on the show, other than Sheree, right? Other than Sheree. So they basically sit down, and Kenya tells Cynthia how she met her husband, Mark. And so, but Cynthia also asks, Kenya, was she going to change her last name or make a hyphen like Cynthia did? And so Kenya was like, yeah, I'm gonna hyphen my name or whatever, and I can't wait to change my name. And so she wants to do that, so we'll see what happens. So they sit down and they talk about it. And so Kenya explains how she met her husband. She met him in Brooklyn. She was introduced to him by a chef. And basically, it was her husband's restaurant. She was at her future husband's restaurant. And, the cook or the chef was talking so highly of Mark that she was like, I really want to meet a guy like that or whatever. And so then they end up meeting, talking. And then after a while, they started to date. And then they got married. And she says that, he used to be a banker on Wall Street. So that means he's a criminal. He's a thief. But he does it legitly. But it's really amazing because a lot of black men are not able to get into Wall Street. So that tells you a lot about her husband, if they're married, that he's really a distinguished gentleman and he got his shit together to be on Wall Street, and he has a lot of connections. And she also says now he's an entrepreneur and he has about 7 businesses. And some people will say, she's kind of exaggerating the story, but Kenya's kind of a woman that got her shit together, so it would be only likely she'll meet a man that has his shit together, not like the guy she used to date. She got herself a man. And so Kenya's happy about the situation, but she's just in fear that with the media, with the paparazzi, with the stories, with the blogs, that it's going to destroy her marriage, and she needs to protect him. And then that's when Cynthia said, I wish I would have protected Peter. I would have protected him from this life. So it's like Cynthia's having a lot of regret with Peter. Every time she turns around, she's talking about regret with Peter, and she's talking about she wished she would have protected Peter from the media attention and all the other stuff, probably because it had a lot to do with their relationship dissolving with, other cast members like Nene Leakes, calling him a B word and all the other stuff that went down, and the cameras following him around, people saying he's stealing money from her, he's broke, and all the other different things that she felt like she didn't do enough. And she also said I think it was last season, that she said that she wasn't a good wife. She didn't do all she could have done to keep their marriage together. So maybe she's just having some regret with the situation. And it seems like Cynthia really did love Peter. It wasn't for TV. It wasn't for show. So then we get to Shamika. She's at the shop getting ready for her wedding, because she's going to have her wedding in Kenya. And she has on African attire or whatever. And she's also, and then Candy walks in, and they're talking about, the wedding and how they're going to have, they got to wear this different attire and stuff like that and everything going on. And so then none other than Sheree walks in, but Sheree ain't flying to Kenya because Sheree ain't got that coin. She ain't even gonna front on y'all. So she doesn't have that coin or whatever. And Sheree was like, I gave you information last year, and this year I'm gonna give you some other type of some information. And Sheree was like, this wedding is like coming to America. She said she just doesn't see the rose petals and things like that. And so Sheree was up in there like trying on stuff. Candy was trying on outfits. Shamika looked nice, and Shamika asked Candy how she looked, and Candy said, you look like somebody on a box of the box of pancakes or whatever. And and then they started talking about Portia might not be coming to the wedding because the tickets are $10. Sheree's carrying a bone, bringing that information. And then Sheree throws up, oh, Candy, didn't you buy your ticket for like $5, right, Candy? $5,000? Candy was like, yeah, I did. So they don't know if actually Portia's coming to the wedding. It would probably be nice if Portia would have talked to Shamia, called her up and tell her the situation about her house, tell her about the ticket, tell her about the situation, so where they won't have to address each other on camera. But I guess they have to have a storyline going on, because all this is really not worthy of TV, but it is what it is. And so Candy was like, I don't even know why Shamia is, stressing, Portia, because Portia ain't really her friend at all, basically. And Shamia was like, I just want her to come. I'm going to try to make everything work. And Candy was like, I just want you to be happy. But it seems like you ain't going to be happy with, Portia. in her confessionals or whatever. And so we get to, Portia, she's at home, she's cleaning out her freezer because she's vegan now and all this other stuff, and she wants to freeze her eggs. Her sister said her eggs are like Hennessy or whatever. The symptom of, Portia's condition that she has is in the slideshow, so you guys could see it. And you be the judge of what you think, if it's really real or if it's really not. And so it was really boring about that. And so then they would run outside to play, and then I mean, I don't know how boring this shit was. And so Portia's really just a ding dong. She really thinks she hasn't done nothing wrong to anybody. She thinks like she's innocent. But so anyways, Portia's gonna freeze her eggs or whatever. So we get to Kenya's house, and Kenya is on the phone. She's Kenya has on her wedding band. She has on the wedding dress, or putting the wedding dress up to her, looking in the mirror with her dogs. It really seems sad. It really seems depressing. It really seems not worthy of to even be on this clip, on this show, because nobody cares. We all seen your wedding dress. It just really seems like it's just a ploy to have people interested, and whether she's married, whether she's not, where her husband's at. They live in 2 different places. It's just like, yo, why you put this out here? So I guess we have to deal with that. And so now she starts to have a breakdown with production, talking about she don't want to get divorced. She don't want this to happen. She don't want that to happen because the media is coming after her, all the haters and all the hate speech, and people don't want her to be happy. People sending, videos and things to her husband that she done like 20 years ago. So she's just like, I can't take this. I don't want to get divorced. I don't want him to leave me. Oh my God, I can't believe this is going on. I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe this is part of the episode. But we understand how you feel, Kenya, because you're in the spotlight and there's haters out there. There's haters everywhere. But when you're in the spotlight, the hate is everywhere. You see it real. Like, people turn on you and they get to social media and they go at you or whatever. So that situation was over, and we get to, Portia's getting ready to go to Shamia's, little, wedding party or whatever. And Portia decides to wear her ring from Cordell. I think it's from Cordell, right? Or is it from the last guy she was dating, Todd? But anyway, she has on a ring. Why is she wearing her ring? She was like, well, it's a real diamond. That's why I'm wearing it or whatever. Because her sister asked her, why are you wearing your ring? Like, Portia, yeah, why are you wearing your ring? Are you trying to show up Shamia? Are you trying to show Shamia that you was married? Are you jealous? Because why would you show up to, like, a wedding party to your best friend? So you guys ain't friends. I don't even know why they keep putting under Shamia, Portia's best friend, Shamia. You guys ain't friends. You guys ain't been friends for years. So they need to stop with that. And so, I don't even know why Portia had on that ring. That just really was gutter. It's just like she's trying to throw shade. It's like she's not going to go to this girl wedding, but she's going to show what her wedding ring on to show what? Because, Candy's married, because, Shamia's about to get married and she's not married right now. Is that why she did it? Because she's kind of insecure about the situation, or she jealous of the situation? I don't know. I don't know why she had on a ring, but she said she had it on because it's a real diamond and she's going to wear it. So anyways, it gets there, and it doesn't seem like... Also, I want to talk about, Cynthia and her daughter, Noelle leaving, going to Charlotte, where, Peter lives at, and she's in contact with Peter. Cynthia immediately asks, her daughter, Noelle, does Peter ask about me? No, he doesn't say anything about me or whatever. He doesn't say anything about you or whatever. And she also, Cynthia is... I know it's hard for, to see your baby leave and, watch her grow. And then now, like, she's traveling to live with her boyfriend. She graduated from high school with all A's. She's going to take a year off from college. And just to see her go in the car, you can see how hurt Cynthia was, how Cynthia feels lonely. She got this lake house and no man. Her daughter's not there. And it's just like when you have to let your kids out the nest, it's not easy at all. It's not special. She was like, oh my God, I didn't even let her drive down the street. Now she's driving all the way to Charlotte. I was like, I felt that moment. I really felt that. That felt real. Noelle was like, Mom, I love you. I love you, Mom. I gotta go. And so now let's get back to the wedding party. Candy's already there. And Sheree's already there. And then, Portia shows up with her sister. They sit down at the table. Candy immediately gets up and walk away. And, Portia says that Sheree looked like Kim with that hat on. And so they get ready to have, the party or whatever. And basically, the party's going on and they're having like the wedding party games. Basically, they call Portia up where you put this, box around your waist and you shake the balls out, how many balls you can get out or whatever. And, Portia does it. And then they have another game called Put the Wiener in the Hole. And, I don't know. It just seems like that game was kind of, degrading for these women of some type of class, and being African American doing this, but I guess it's okay. But I'm just saying, I've never seen this game done before at weddings. Maybe you guys have. I am from down south, but I don't live in down south anymore. None of the weddings I've been to, this game was ever played. Maybe this is new or whatever. And Sheree won, and some people are saying Sheree won because she's good with that dildo. No, sir. And so, Shamia and Portia, they sit at the table together or whatever, and they're talking, and they want to know if, Shamia wants to know if, Portia's coming to a wedding, and Portia's kind of like saying that I really can't come to the wedding because of my condition, because of what's going on with me. I can't sit that long. And so Candy's laughing. Candy's best friend is laughing too as well. They're poking fun of Portia. Shamia was like, what do you mean you're not coming? What do you mean your condition? I don't really know what your condition is because I was mad at you, so I didn't read. And, Portia was like, I fainted before, blah, blah, blah. And they showed clips from that or whatever. And so Candy and her friend are just clowning, Portia. I was surprised that Portia was able, calm and cool, collected, and didn't act up and didn't get angry. Candy and her friend was like, oh, let's get the doctor note out. We got notes today. And they go back to last season when they was on the bus, and Portia had an anger management note that she's seeing a psychiatrist, or she's in anger management. And basically how she lied about she was in anger management was, brought out last season. So they just poking fun at her that she's lying, that she's not telling the truth, but she won't be real about it and just say she don't want to go. And that would be nice if Portia would just be real and just say, I don't want to go. And so Candy's friend and assistant was just like, she's not used to, she can't have her legs down that long, so she used to having her legs up. And I was like, oh, this condition, the doctor's note, oh my God. She looked in her purse for a doctor's note, just straight clowning Portia. And Portia didn't say anything. She didn't say nothing. And then, Portia's sister jumped in, was like, well, Shamia, she has a right to her opinion. You have a right to yours. And, you guys just got to get on the same page and understand each other. And Portia feels slighted. And then everybody knows that Portia's sitting at the table lying. She's not telling the truth because she did this last year with the anger management, lying about that with her doctor's note that Phaedra helped her get so she can be on the episode and go camping. And so Portia describes her condition, that she can't do this, she can't do that, she can't sit, and, I guess the tickets are too expensive in first class, so she only can afford coach, and she can't move around in coach and stretch her legs out, so she's not going to be able to make it. And so it's just like, Shamia, why are you begging this girl to come to your wedding? Once you get over it, she hasn't been your friend in years, she hasn't had your back, she chose, Phaedra, almost just like you chose, Candy more, but, you kept it separately, but you've seen more with Candy. Candy's around you more than, Portia, but I guess Portia chose that, and Portia feels she's uncomfortable because Candy's around and Candy's there. If Candy wasn't at the wedding, maybe she should go, but she's having her wedding all the way in Kenya. A lot of people will want to go to Kenya or whatever. I'm not one of them. And then also, especially not for a wedding. So Shamia goes outside to talk to Portia, and they go back and forth. And Portia basically just says, I ain't going. I don't really care. You're not understanding me. You don't understand how I feel. You don't understand this. You don't understand that. And Shamia was like, you got to understand how I feel. You chose Phaedra, and she did. And she chose Phaedra. And even though Phaedra was found out to be lying and Phaedra used Portia, she's still not giving Shamia the respect that she deserved, or even trying to be there all over Shamia. She should be all there with Shamia every step of the way, because she found out that her friend Phaedra wasn't real and lied and almost got her fired off the show. And that's why Phaedra's not there. So Portia, you should be bending over backwards to apologize and to mend your relationship with Shamia, because you was actually wrong. You chose the wrong person, and that was Phaedra, because at the end it came out that everything was a lie. And so it is what it is. And so, Portia was like, I'm trying to be there for you. I showed up to your other thing, and, because Shamia was like, I'm surprised that you even came, because we haven't been cool. I haven't seen you. We haven't hung around. We haven't done anything together. So they argue. It is what it is. In my opinion, Portia's wrong, because she just needs to be real with Shamia and say, Shamia, I really don't rock with you. That's it. Stop faking it. And Shamia needs to accept that Portia's not her friend no more and move on. Peace. I'm out. One love to all my peeps and my peoples.